Jesus Christ. Anyways, welcome everyone to a brand new, completely professional episode of All Gas, No Trash.
Fuck my life. I don't know how this one's gonna go. I think we might be doing something of a new format for album reviews because how do I word this? So we're gonna be covering Gut Health's Stiletto, their debut album, right?
Yeah. Debut album.
I don't know how I feel about it. I've listened to the album. We've listened to shit.
Yeah.
Well, secret's out.
Yeah, listen, it's gonna be no secret,
Yeah.
all right? But okay, we said this before that we pre-listened to it because it's easier to record this way, but we still do it in the same format as before, so that way people can listen along if they wanted to.
Yeah.
That was what we were doing. But
And I think when we have the luxury of doing this professionally, full time,
yeah,
I think there is an element of doing things live, a genuine reaction to music.
Mm-hmm.
There is something cool about that, but we don't have that luxury right now, so we just kind of, and actually, it's like one or the other, right? Doing it live allows us to be more genuine about how we feel about the music in real time, I suppose, when we record the episode.
yeah.
But I will say there are upsides to doing things away from each other, so we're not being influenced by looking at each other about how we're reacting to the music as we listen to it, therefore not influencing how we feel. I do think I probably give more thought by I go back and listen to the song I end up going back and listening to the song multiple times to kind of reassure myself about how I feel about the numerous tracks that are on an album. So I think I get to be more introspective or retrospective about an album by having numerous hours for me to like just listen and be an active listener and focus on an album, as opposed to just sitting here and just us giving our first take on it. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, well, anyways, before we get into the album review, if you want to, I got a shill for Game Rage before we get into it. If you want to go listen to all of our other stuff and our multitudes of podcasts, you can go to YouTube and you can find us there at Game Rage Magazine, where you can like, comment, and subscribe. Good, bad, whatever. Just say some shit. We don't give a fuck. Make a conversation happen. I don't know, do something. If you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. You can follow Adam, who runs this podcast's specific social media page, and it's his page, All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram. Tell him how much you hate us if you fucking want. I don't care. Fucking do whatever you want. Also, if you like anime and manga, you can go and listen to the Anime Syndicate podcast and our good buddy Frank at anime_syndicate_podcast. All right. So
I don't know how this is going to work. I thought about doing this track by track, but
you just want to just say fuck it and just talk about it in general? Because I mean, I wrote down notes for each individual track.
I did too.
They were much like the album. My notes are also repetitive. So.
All right, let's just go track by track. So we'll start off with the leading track off of the album Stiletto from Gut Health, their debut.
This out fucking. You know what? We're not even gonna pause it. We're just gonna go right into it. All right.
All right.
So this is Uh-Oh. So you can pause the podcast if you want to listen to it. This is Uh-Oh, track number 1 by Gut Health off of their debut album Stiletto. All right, they paused it or not, and they're back. So we're back, okay, off of this Gut Health. Uh-Oh. Positive thing about this song, and really the only positive thing I have to say about this album in general, the bass lines are fucking good.
Yes.
Killer. Funky as fuck.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them.
I wholeheartedly agree. One big plus that I'm going to give to this album for sure is, as you were saying, the bass line. The bassist, I don't know the name. Maybe I can just look that up real quick. But, dude, I haven't heard bass playing like this, this is a bold statement. Maybe this might end up being the clip, but I haven't heard somebody play bass like this in a post-punk band since Andy Rourke and the Smiths, which is a band that everybody knows. Anybody that enjoys post-punk music or, you know, things along that line, Joy Division, really sad, depressing stuff, or melancholic or melodramatic like the Smiths. I haven't heard somebody play bass like this since Andy Rourke of the Smiths, and I think that's like the biggest compliment that I can pay to the bass player. And in the meantime, I'm gonna look up their name so I could just give them their flowers for this album.
Oh yeah. So I don't know what the fuck post-punk is. Is this just like punk, but like the after the punk thing? Like, what the fuck does that even mean?
See, I don't know how to describe post-punk in as a definition. Mm-hmm. I just know post-punk when I hear it. And God Health is post-punk. I don't know how else to put it.
So it's a broad genre of music that emerged in 1977 in the wake of punk rock. It says they departed from punk's fundamental elements and raw simplicity, instead adopting a broader, more experimental approach that encompasses a variety of avant-garde sensibilities and non-rock influences. I don't know. I don't think I like post-punk. I just, in general, I don't think I like it at all. But I tried putting that out. But I mean, I did write for this track. I'm like, it doesn't really feel like any kind of like a punk. If this is supposed to be some version of punk, it doesn't really feel like that at all. Like it doesn't. I don't know. It didn't really feel like that to me.
It's after punk.
Yeah. But it didn't feel like anything that even was derivative of coming from punk, I guess. I don't know.
I think it might be in the guitars, the wiry guitar distortion that might have remnants of the punk element within the music.
Yeah.
But it's more upbeat. It's more on the dancey side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what did you have to say about the song itself?
That was it. The bass line was good. The rest of it I just didn't really care for.
Okay. So I wrote upbeat, dancey, post-punk song. Another band that makes the bass player feel like an important player within the band itself. Because I'm referring to some of the previous albums that we've listened to in the past where maybe the bass player is not really so much in the foreground, but this definitely makes the bass player like a fucking star, like an MVP of the album. I like the single version more because I've heard this song before, but the single version was better because there wasn't chorus coming after, or rather, there wasn't backup vocals in the chorus. So they changed a few things for this song. I wrote down they changed something in the chorus. There's more bells and whistles on this version of super energetic, bouncy, fun song. The synthesizers remind me of Devo. Like there's something. I feel like this album has elements of Devo, which would probably be more new wave type of sound. But the songs are like fun. They're funky, or they have a groovy element. Especially, like I said, the bass line is like the thing that kind of is a big selling point for this album. So, anyways, we'll get to and then things just things start to unravel for me, dude.
Immediately, they immediately unravel because I'm like, all right, this could be okay. Like I wasn't gonna just dismiss this immediately just off of the fact that it's really not my jam. No, I'm gonna give this the whole thing.
Yeah.
So we'll get into track number 2 right now, called The Recipe. So here's track number 2, The Recipe, off of Gut Health's debut album, Stiletto. You can pause now if you want to listen to it. All right, we're back from The Recipe. I wrote down this song, the first song, I literally said, uh-oh is right. This shit sounds exactly the same as the first fucking song. I also I couldn't find, I don't know if you ever found the lyrics.
No,
but I
the lyrics weren't anywhere.
Yeah, so I was trying to get a grasp of the lyrics because it is easier to do it while you're when you can read them.
Yeah.
Because you know exactly what the fuck they're saying.
Yeah.
This shit just did not seem like any. It just seemed like the same fucking previous song to me, and I don't know. I just like, God damn it, here we go again. Now, I'll give them this. for the most part, well, not really, because you'll find out at the end. But at least they weren't like some of the other albums we reviewed, and they just do the same repetitive shit for 5 fucking minutes or 8 minutes a song. For the most part, they basically just let us off the hook, kind of. At least at the beginning of the album, right now, I'm thinking, okay, at least this is only 3 minutes. Like it's 2:57 this song. All right, okay, cool, whatever. I'll give them a pass for a minute and see where this goes.
Right.
But anyways, what'd you have to say?
The recipe: real wiry guitar, song for kids who have ADHD and bounce off of walls. That's all I fucking wrote. And yeah, dude, the song. I mean, the tempo of a lot of the songs end up being the same, and I like. I mean, for me personally, I enjoy variety in tempo so that we're not listening. It doesn't seem like we're listening to the same track numerous times, right? But then again, this genre, I think, kind of invites itself to going in a fucking circle.
Yeah.
Like you're almost handicapping yourself by just being this type of music, right?
Yeah.
And I think that ends up being the case when you listen to the other 7, or we're barely on track 2, right?
Yeah,
we're working our way towards track 3.
Yeah.
That these songs end up kind of blending into one another, and it ends up being harmful. And I also have to add that curtness, or being short with the songs, sticking to 2 to 3 minutes, especially when it comes to punk or adjacent genres, that punctuality or keeping things short is like their utmost ally, because as we come to find out, there are a few tracks that end up being 5+ minutes long.
Yeah.
And it ended up making me cover my fucking ears, and I just couldn't stand listening to this track any longer. But I powered through it, obviously, because we owe artists this fucking due that if we're gonna listen to an album, it's gonna be to its entirety. And yeah, that's all I got to say about it.
Yeah, I agree. So, all right, track number 3, Scripture by Gut Health off of their debut album, Stiletto. Pause now and listen if you want to hear that. All right, we're back. Scripture. For this one, again, I wrote down the bass line is for sure the highlight of this album right now, going into the 3rd track, right? I also said, this is just a slower version of the previous 2 fucking songs.
Yeah.
And the worst part for me, the most egregious part, was it just repeated the absolute ever shit out of itself.
Yeah.
And then it was 5 fucking minutes long. It was 5 minutes of literally the same shit we just heard in the last 2 songs, but just a little bit. The tempo was a little bit slower.
Yeah.
And I just was like, Jesus. I literally thought to my head, you know what? Fuck you, Adam, for making me listen to this. Like, this is fucking horrific.
Dude, I almost got like a dagger, like, oh, I have dishonored the podcast.
You have.
I have to commit seppuku.
Yeah, this one is fucking... This has been AIDS to listen to this.
Yeah.
But anyways, what did you think of track number 3?
Track number 3, song is too long. Don't hate it. I like Amanda's vocals and the harmonies and the callbacks within the chorus itself that you hear, but not for fucking 5 fucking minutes, dude. Not for 5 fucking minutes with things repeating throughout the song for 5 minutes, dude. I just, this was a tough sell for me, especially for this song and its length. This was no good. I mean, the song was groovy, but it just didn't hit because it was repetitive and it was fucking long. Yeah. So, track number 4.
Track number 4, Restless, as I am getting now.
I was starting to get there.
Yeah. I was like, fucking A, how much longer do I have to listen to this shit for? But anyways, track number 4, Restless, off of Gut Health's debut album, Stiletto. All right, and we're back. For this one, bass line, nice and funky. That was great. And then the next thing I wrote was, what the fuck is this about?
Yeah.
This is terrible. This is fucking terrible. I hate this.
Yeah.
Anyway, what did you have to say about it?
Funky, groovy bass line, most upbeat song yet. Feels like B-52s, if you are familiar with, Love Shack and Rock Lobster and those tracks from B-52s. It does feel like there's something of a new wave feel to their music, but they never really get to that point. It's the post-punk thing, and that they keep going in circles and it feels like we're listening to the same goddamn track over and over. Has reverby sax or melodica, which is like it's like a harmonica, but it's got a keyboard on it, and you put the tube in your mouth. I didn't know which one it was. I didn't know if it was like a weird distorted sax, with reverb on it, or it was a melodica. And I don't know. That's all I really wrote for fucking Restless. So
yeah. All right. So track number 5, Separate States. This one will be interesting. But this is track number 5, Separate States, off of Gut Health's debut album Stiletto. All right. Now we're back. I literally wrote down, is this supposed to be about fucking Palestine or some shit? Because that's what I got out of this. Or I feel like that's what it was about.
I didn't even hear the words because I think I have audio dyslexia. I don't even know if that's a real thing. But I can't make out words, dude. I can't make out words in songs.
No, I mean, they didn't specifically say Palestine or Israel.
No.
Or there wasn't anything
I know
like that.
they didn't, but I didn't even get to pay attention to the lyrics because I couldn't even make them out.
Well, so I wrote, Jesus fuck, it just repeats itself over and over again. Fuck my life. That's what I wrote. And if it was about Palestine, I'm like, okay, cool. But like, I don't understand what, like, other than the title, that's because it's the most popular. It's one of the most popular songs on the album, at least according to iTunes, because it's got the little dot
star
next to it, the star. So I assumed that this has got to be about Palestine. But then when you listen to the song, you're like, what the fuck is this? Is this about Palestine? I don't know, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I expect artists to be something about, there's something to them about being cryptic, about what their message actually is. But unless we have the lyrics in hand, we can't come to those conclusions unless we have those words, those lyrics for us to even get a grasp of an idea about what the song's about.
Yeah.
But all I wrote for Separate States is that this song makes me think of The Jam, which is a band that came out in the 70s roughly around the 70s. But almost all their songs remind me of this post-punk band called X-Ray Specs. They have elements that remind me of them. And that's all I wrote.
Yeah, all right. So then let's get into track number 6, Cool Moderator, off of Gut Health's debut album, Stiletto.
I wrote something real nice about this one.
Oh, yeah? So what'd you write? Wait. We pause it? All right. Now we're back. Here we go. What'd you think of Cool Moderator?
They do the most asshole thing and play their instruments like shit before the song really got going. I dig the bass line, though. That's all I wrote.
Yeah, I wrote, well, at least it started off kind of different.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote. But what the fuck am I listening to? What the fuck am I actually listening to?
The song ended and started with it's like avant-garde jazz. We're like...
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, the fuck is it? Is Ron Burgundy playing the flute? Like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, fuck that song. Okay, so then we go to track number 7, Juvenile Retention.
Yeah, my retention was juvenile.
Oh, I was like a TikTok kid, and I'm like,
Please,
get me out of here.
Get me out of here.
All right, so Juvenile Retention, off of Gut Health's debut album, Stiletto. Pause now. All right, we're back. That was Juvenile Retention. What did you have to say about this one?
The chorus is the most Devo Gut Health song on the album. The vocal effects are cool on this track, and that's all I got.
I said, if post-punk is just repetitive shit, right? If that's what it's supposed to be, then I don't think I like this. Mm-hmm. And count me the fuck out. If this is what post-punk is, count me out. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll take a pass on that one.
Yeah.
But that's all I wrote for that one. So
now we're on to track 8, 2 Steps.
I don't know why I wrote this. I think they must have mentioned something about finishing or doing something like that
on
2 Steps.
Okay, so I guess we'll listen to
2 Steps, right? That's the next one. Yeah, 2 Steps.
So go ahead and pause it, and then we'll be right back. And pause it.
All right, now we're back. That was 2 Steps. I wrote, yes, let's finish this off. Please do it quickly. That's what I wrote. And what's funny...
With a pistol in hand.
Yeah. What's funny is that song was 4.5 fucking minutes long, so they did not do it quickly. And the next 2 songs are fucking long as shit, too.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Anyways, that was all I wrote for that one.
Guitar riff. The guitar riff out the gate is catchy, I wrote. Another laid-back track from Gut Health, more of a slower tempo. I'm surprised how many harmonies are on this album. It does feel like it breaks up the monotony of this album. The beat change up in the last minute adds some liveliness to the track. It's kind of like a shock to the system to have the song just straight up change tempo in the last like fourth or third of the song. I couldn't remember, but some part of the song on the back end, it just decides to change up tempo, but it doesn't save the album. Like, it doesn't save the album at all.
No.
So,
okay, let's do track number 9, Memory Foam. All right, we're back from track number 9, Memory Foam. This one really pissed me off because I was like, not as much as the next song, but this one still, I was like, oh no, we're going to go to the end, get towards the end of the album here, and we're going to start the wailing and the moaning and the whining. I wrote, their memory foam, hey, 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 please put one in my dome.
Yeah. I wrote, mental resignation, already tired of this album. The longest tracks need to be truncated, overstayed its welcome. Short songs is their ally, less is more. This track goes into post-punk psychosis. Amanda makes squeaky noise that's kind of funny, but
Yeah.
that it was just funny for 2 seconds.
Yeah, and then I was like, this is horrific. All right, let's do the final track, Stiletto.
Fuck this song, dude. 7 goddamn minutes. You know what the worst part is? You make this song and you don't deliver on it. It's not Stairway to Heaven. It's not fucking I don't know what track the Doors have that's 7 minutes. I think Riders of the Storm is like a 7-minute song.
Yeah.
You have a 7-minute song on your debut album. You expect me to fucking listen to it and sit through it and not have it be monotonous? Fuck my life, dude.
Yeah. All right. So for this final track, Stiletto. Okay. Oh, we didn't pause. Whatever. Fuck it. Who cares at this point?
We're like, fuck this. We're
I said, just when you think it's over. Wrong.
Yeah.
And so I got this image in my head. I said, you know, when they were sitting there thinking, writing this album out, right? Somebody had to have brought up the idea and said, hey, wait a minute, guys. I got an idea. Why don't we end the album with a 7-minute fucking song that literally incorporates every aspect of why this album is terrible? It's 7 minutes of repetitive. It's 7 minutes of wailing. It's 7 minutes of fucking stupidity. And the best part of all, to encapsulate this album, just like everything else, it's about absolutely fucking nothing. There is no fucking point to this fucking song.
You know what the pathetic thing is? After having listened to 10 songs of this debut album, I don't know if the lyrics would have helped. If we actually read them, that if it would have helped.
I don't think it would have helped at all.
Because the songs weren't even that distinguishable from one another, or rather that interesting, that it's going to change my opinion. The lyrics are going to change my opinion, because I don't think it's going to do anything at all for me. So after having listened to Stiletto, I wrote 7 minutes is not how you should end an album. I'm already tired. That's all I said.
All right, so final score for this fucking album.
All right, so even in spite of how much I personally feel about this album, I'm still going to give it what I think is an objective score. I think this is fine. Like, ultimately, I think this is an enjoyable album, especially for people that really love, like, Grace Jones, The Jam, X-Ray Specs, a lot of, like, post-punk stuff. This will sit well for them. I don't know how, like, on a global scale people will feel about it. It is enjoyable. The star of the album is definitely the fucking bass player, and they don't even have the decency to like list off their bass player in the Bandcamp like bio, because you can leave like like the credits and say list off who does what.
Right.
But the bass player is definitely the star. As I said before, this is some of the best bass playing in a post-punk band that I've heard since Andy Rourke in the Smiths. I think as far as scores go, I think I have to give it like a 5 or a 6. And that's with me still feeling conflicted about it, that a lot of the songs feel repetitive. I think objectively it is fucking good. It's just, it's too enveloped in its own self that it comes across as monotonous, but I have to give it like a 5 or 6. It's a mid-album.
Yeah, for sure. So, kayfabe-wise, I scored this. I didn't use a number, all right? I scored this a Y out of 10.
A Y out of 10?
Why the fuck did I listen to this out of 10?
That's fucking great.
That's what I scored this.
Like the letter Y too?
Yeah, it's the letter Y. Y and a question mark. That's what it is. It's Y question mark out of 10. That's what I gave this.
Why though?
Yeah, but why though? And it's the guy that we that's what it is.
Yeah.
In a non-kayfabe, if being actually an objective like reviewer, yes, the baseline on this album was literally 10 out of 10. I mean, it was excellent. The rest of the shit was 0 out of 10. So you take those two, you get a 5 out of 10. That's objectively, if I'm not being facetious or fucking being an asshole, if I'm just giving it a literal objective score, 5 out of 10. I mean, this was like you said, mid at best. I mean, again, I fucking hate it, but
I just know that a lot of people would have interest in it, and it's going to be feasible to a lot of people, especially that enjoy post-punk music. But does it have tangible commercial potential?
Don't think so.
I don't know about that. Like, would anybody listen to this album? I don't think so. I think it's going to be for people that tend to enjoy like the Smiths or the Jam or X-Ray Specs, like or B-52s or Devo. That's kind of like your audience. This is a very niche album, but hopefully, I mean, this is our take, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
You can go and listen to the album for yourself and come to your own conclusions, but this is how we feel, so that's all I really got to say about fucking Stiletto, dude.
Please do go fucking listen to the album.
Yeah.
And don't be an asshole. Fucking pay for it, all right? Don't fucking pirate it or any bullshit. Pay for the fucking album. Don't be a dickhead. Or at least view it on somewhere where they can get, like, views or hits or something, you know, they can benefit from you listening to it.
And I will say, I've said it 1,000 times before, but when we review music, I'm not out to hurt people.
No.
I'm not. I want
not
people to do well, and regardless of how we fucking feel, like, I hope numerous people come to the defense of Gut Health and say, you guys are fucking wrong, you don't know what you're talking about, and that only entrenches your fandom further for this band, and they end up becoming even more successful in spite of us. Like that, I still enjoy this band. I think they're great. I just don't know if this was the best debut album for 2024. I think it was a debut album, but it was somewhere in the middle. Like yeah.
And just remember about this, too. We were also talking about Gut Health before anybody else was.
It was the first episode we talked about.
The first fucking episode. Before that asshole Henry Rollins or whatever the fuck his name is fucking got on and started putting them on or did whatever. We were talking about
And before even this, we started even doing this program, dude, I was on board with Gut Health since their EP Electric Party Chrome Girl that came out. I think it came out, if I'm not mistaken off the top of my head, it came out November 8th of 2022. So I was on it before most people could piece together. So like, I've been invested in Gut Health since damn near the fucking beginning, but I feel like I got swindled, dude. I feel like I got hoodwinked, bamboozled for having such a great EP with Electric Party Chrome Girl, that this album just felt like a dud. But even so, even me being critical of this album, I found it serviceable. Yeah. So that's all I got to say about this album.
Yeah. So, anyways, with that, we will end the episode. So I guess thanks for listening and checking it out. If you want to hear more of our shit, you can go to YouTube, Game Rage Magazine. Like, comment, and subscribe. Do all those things. You can follow us on social media at Game Rage Magazine on Twitter/X, at Game Rage, or Jesus fucking Christ, I fucked it up. At Game Rage Magazine on Instagram and TikTok, at Game Rage Mag on Twitter/X. You can follow this show and Adam at All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram. And you can follow our good buddy Frank over there for anime at anime_syndicate_podcast on Instagram. All right, that'll do it for us. Stay tuned for the next episode where we fucking review another album. Get ready for that.